My dear friends, welcome to Chess 24. We continue our series on José Raúl Capablanca, third world champion. I'm Rustam Kasimdzhanov, and once again our guest in our studio is Grandmaster Francisco Vallejo from Spain, or as we know him by now, Paco. Welcome, Paco.
Thank you.
So I was going to talk about the importance of the 7th rank. What can you tell us about the 7th rank?
Well, it's very important.
Yes, but in fact, when thinking about strategic aspects of the position, we rarely think about the 7th rank. But Nimzowitsch, for instance, he believed 7th rank was the most important knowledge about chess very often, especially connected with the passed pawn. Interestingly enough, in the game I'm going to show now, Nimzowitsch actually fell a victim to underestimating the importance of the 7th rank. In his game against Capablanca, he was white, and he had this position which is about equal, but black has maybe a bit more strategic potential because white's bishop on d4 with all his pawns on the dark squares is potentially weaker than the black bishop. But for this, black would have to play slowly. I mean, maybe a move strategically would be something like f6, maybe trying to go
e5, yeah.
e5 and trying to force white maybe to do something like f4 and use maybe the weaknesses later. With black, I would be trying maybe to go something like a6, b5, maybe potentially just to fix the pawns, but it would all end in a draw normally. And Capablanca used his chance to activate and just played rook c2. And
well, it is a tempting move.
It is a tempting move, yeah.
Rook c2. Well, you attack the queen.
The thing is that if Nimzowitsch would show some precision, I think queen d1 would pretty much neutralize black's initiative.
Slowly change pieces. Yeah?
Slowly
like
change
rook
pieces.
e2 or something.
Yeah, because now there is a certain pin on this diagonal, and white is threatening rook e2, or sometimes rook c1 would also be an option. For instance, if black goes now e5, trying to win a piece on the pin, then white would go rook e2, attacking the rook, and probably black will not win anything from this. Maybe he would rather lose some material, because now he has to protect the rook and probably will lose the pawn on e5. So I think after queen d1, the position will slowly liquidate to a draw.
Oh, yeah, probably. No? But still, I mean, easier to be black here somehow. Yeah?
Probably nicer to be black.
Like
He
rook
would probably
e8,
go rook
yeah.
e8, rook e2, and now maybe queen c4.
Or f6, your move is also possible, maybe.
Maybe still f6. Yeah, maybe it's still easier
I mean, it's
to
still
be black.
pleasant for black, but still, I mean, a long game to come. Yeah?
Yeah, white is healthy enough in this position. But what he did instead was queen a6.
a6. Interesting to notice that after queen f3, white loses on the spot, I think. Yeah?
Ah, that's very well observed, yeah. Because there is another pin in this position.
It's a funny trick, yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to miss because the spin did not exist in the position before. It just appeared after white's last move, yeah. But now rook takes d4 just wins the bishop.
Yeah, probably just wins, yeah.
And just wins, yeah. Because, okay, if rook somewhere, for instance, rook b1,
yeah, but queen c3,
queen c3 keeps the pin, and black is a piece up. So white played queen a6, and this is exactly what I meant with underestimating the dangers of the rook on the 7th, or in this case on the 2nd rank. And Capablanca played e5, immediately seizing his chance. Bishop e5 only move, and rook d2.
doubling.
And basically, yeah, I don't know what Nimzowitsch means. I don't think it is e5. I think he saw this position, and he probably assumed he would be able to go
Rook f1.
rook f1, yes.
This is the normal defense.
And the normal thing to blunder also, yeah. And now you see the two rooks on the 2nd rank, or on the 7th if you were white, they create all sorts of tactical possibilities. And in this case, after queen takes e3, which is an easy move to miss, black mates in many different ways. For instance, after f takes e3, rook g2, this is a classical mate on the second rank, and king g1, and then another rook mates on g2.
Thanks to the rook f1 move.
Thanks to the rook f1, yes. And if white would go bishop f4, then black wins with the same combination.
Trick, yeah.
Rook takes f2, bishop takes e3, and check, and basically mate as in the previous line. And I think when Nimzowitsch saw this, I think he panicked.
Well,
Probably
it's normal to panic.
Well, it's normal to panic in a position like this, and in fact, white still had a reasonable defense. He just had to return his queen to f1.
This is hard to find somehow. Yeah?
This is not so easy because you assume black will have something. But in fact here, after rook f2, queen f2, rook f2, king f2, there is no trick.
There's no trick, yeah, which is strange actually.
Well, you would expect the bishop to be lost
exactly.
somehow,
With the bishop on d4, I'll believe white is doing okay. But with the bishop there, it looks like something's going to happen.
Yeah. But in fact, black would need a check from f5 with the queen, but the queen cannot get to f5 in one move, and otherwise white will consolidate.
Yeah, after check, then just king g1, right?
After queen c2 check, now not rook e2, queen f5, but just king g1 back. And and white is completely alright with two rooks against the queen. I think what Nimzowitsch was afraid of is maybe queen d5, because it looks like the queen is coming to f3, and that is going to be pretty devastating. But in fact, after bishop f4, queen f3, otherwise white is threatening e4, for instance, g5, e4 is very strong, hitting the queen and the rook at the same time. Very slightly unusual kind of a double attack in this case. So after queen f3, it looks like rook f2 cannot be prevented, but in fact, rook ec1 is solving problems. But this is not easy.
Nice.
But this is nice. And now after rook f2, white can just take rook c2, and then the second rook is protecting the queen, and white is consolidating. And after rook...
Very easy to miss as well.
Very easy to miss with black and white, yeah?
Yeah, this rook ec1 is a beautiful move.
Yeah, and after rook b2, white goes rook cb1 and basically continues to attack the black
Perpetual
rook.
check to the rook, yeah?
Well,
like
black can still try something like queen f2, but it's not going to work, yeah? Queen f2, rook b2.
Well, it's not mate, at least.
Rook b2, it's not mate, and I think white is activating the rook and should be okay with some counterplay on the back rank and on the 7th. And basically, Nimzowitsch...
With just one rook on the 7th, it's not so dangerous anymore, yeah?
Yeah,
I mean,
one
there is
rook
no
needs,
pieces to help you, huh?
That's true, yeah. One rook needs support, yeah? It's either the second rook or very often the passed pawn, which makes it very, very strong, yeah?
But without, in this case, if you change queens and rook and another rook, then the 7th rank, it's by itself, it's not winning, yeah?
Oh, that's true, yeah. But as I said, unfortunately, Nimzowitsch in this position panicked, played queen b7. This
Unfortunately, for whom? I mean,
for him.
For him, yeah.
But it gave us a very instructive example. So he played queen b7, trying to protect the square g2, which is essential.
Yeah, actually, rook f1 is a threat now, for example. Yeah? Because queen e3 will not work now.
Yes. And also, in general, I think maybe he was anxious to return the queen to battle, yeah? That he felt it was misplaced on a6. But after rook takes f2, black has this domination on the 7th, and or in this case on the 2nd rank, and I just don't see how white can proceed actively, yeah? Because anything he will do will run into some sort of a mate. He played g4.
Yeah, if rook f1, then rook g2, and now there is queen d5 afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, or also maybe queen takes e3 immediately will also be very strong. So he played g4. It could look for a second that g2 is covered and h2 is covered, and that black will not have enough attacking resources. But this is the magic of the two rooks on the 7th, that they basically create also long-term problems. And in this case, Capablanca just brought queen into the attack, Queen e6.
He always does this, no, Capablanca. Like when everybody's looking for a blow, no, like for a winning move, he just plays like brings back the queen, like very very calm. Yeah?
Well, this was maybe the main part of his talent and chess strengths. Yeah, he was somehow calm about things, yeah, and bringing pieces. Yeah.
Normally, people will start to think here, like, well, rook. For example, the first I thought it was like rook g2. He cannot take the rooks because there is queen d5 afterwards. So okay, king h1, and then I was trying to find something else, no, like, but the guy
find some ways to distract the bishop. Yeah.
But
I think
he does it very.
Well, first of all, he was calm, and secondly, he saw tactics extremely well.
So this kind of players, no, like Karpov a little bit, no, like they look like they don't see any tactics, but actually they see much more than you.
Well, that's true, yeah. No, I think in order to become a player of a caliber like Capablanca or Karpov, even if your style is very positional, you need to see a lot of tactics. I think both those people, they never complained about tactical vision.
Yeah. Even in Blitz, they used to be very strong players in Blitz games because of that, because they see the tactics very well. Right?
Yeah, no, they say that like 10 years before Capablanca became world champion, he was already beating Lasker in Blitz without any resistance. Yeah, they say he was just unparalleled in Blitz at the time. And in this case also, I don't think he needed very much to spot the following tactics. He played queen e6. Okay, attacking both whites' tactical weaknesses at the moment. And after bishop g3, white's position collapsed immediately after a very strong blow rook h2, which is not even a very natural tactical blow, but it just works instantly here, because after bishop h2, queen takes g4 and queen h3, and white cannot protect both possible mating scenarios. I mean, he can protect against queen h2, for instance, with queen b8, but then queen g2 will be made. You see how many tactical mating possibilities two rooks would create on the 7th, or in this case, 2nd rank. And in this case, white just managed to defend against all sorts of mates, but now his position is weak enough, and now Capablanca just liquidated into an ending, and with 2 pawns up and a very strong play on the king side. I mean, he can continue with h5, h4, g5, then activate the bishop, and white's king remains extremely weak.
Not only that, but it's also very difficult to defend such positions. Yeah? Like,
yes.
Well, apart from this is objectively lost, but when your opponent has like a queen and lots of checks, it's kind of difficult to play, you know? Because it's like, well, on every move it looks like you're going to blunder something. Yeah?
Well, that's true, yeah. When your king is weak, it's very difficult to play against the queen, yeah? Because the queen is such a dominating piece. You
need to worry about lots of moves, but your opponent might be thinking about something else, no? Like, what is he going to do tonight? No? And he actually has so many checks and so many unpleasant threats. No?
Capablanca was already thinking about the goal he was not tonight. Yeah?
He was not worried about the game anymore. Probably.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's interesting that he also finished off extremely unhurriedly. Played h5, queen g5, and now the move I like very much. He just played a5, creating a second weakness on b4 or on a3. And
giving the bishop something to do as well.
Well,
right?
that's true. Yeah, he's activating the bishop. And after rook e2, ab, bishop e7, black somehow completely consolidated his position, and I think around here they must have adjourned. It was move 41, and I think Nimzovich did not need to analyze this position to know that he has no chances, and basically resigned this. If he did not resign, the attack which would follow with h4, g5, or the combination of other tricks would definitely finish him off.
Resigning is kind of sad. Huh? Anyway,
well, they adjourned. Yeah, Capablanca had a night and a day maybe to analyze his position.
Well, but he didn't have any engines to analyze. No?
Well, I trust Capablanca's technique in this case.
Sure. I mean, but well, still, I mean, you never know. Everybody's able to blunder from time to time.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
By resigning, you don't save much games. No? I think.
You don't save. I don't think you save any games by resigning. Yeah.
So, well, I mean, still a little bit of a game here.
A little bit of a hope, yeah.
I wouldn't resign here. I mean, at least.
Well, I hope
not
this
yet.
I hope this is a very instructive insight for our viewers. First of all, you learn to use the 7th rank, you learn to appreciate the dangers of the 7th rank, and you learn not to resign prematurely. And in fact, many people actually do this, yeah, that they resign when the game is not going well because they don't want to look at this position anymore.
To suffer,
yeah, but suffering in bad positions is also the part of growing up as a chess player. And yeah, we definitely should learn to do this as well, to defend the bad positions. But as for the theme of the moment, I think we said enough about the dangers of the 7th rank and about how strong 2 rooks can be on the 7th rank. And with this we will conclude our lecture for now. Thanks for being with us, and goodbye.